What's going on, everybody? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Oh my gosh. I hope you guys are ready to receive the best hour you have ever seen in your entire life. Why? Because we got it all, baby. We got hope, we got positivity, we got excitement, we got encouragement, we got inspiration, motivation, empowerment, the whole nine, man. So I hope you guys are excited about this. Pull up a chair, pull up a couple shots, let your hair down, kick your shoes off, and get ready to receive the most power-packed hour you have ever seen in your entire life. I'm excited, baby. Let's go.
Joseph Jaffe is not famous. I'm famous. Joseph Jaffe is a delusional human being who thinks he's famous. He's not famous. He's not famous. I'm famous.
This is my best kind of show notes. We didn't touch one of them, not even one of them. I'm not sure which one is Paul Rudd and which one is Lane Green.
Final card here is the ultimate outcome.
Today is take your dog to work day.
Like Scooby-Doo.
Without further ado, his debut.
Sweet Caroline.
Everybody say hello to Sammy. Is it not good?
I'm just pausing so that you just are at the front of your seat.
I'm so enormously flattered.
Branding is not a bad blind date.
I'm gonna have to take a picture of this.
No, this is agape. This is love.
I really enjoyed this. You did do your homework. You asked great questions.
I'm flattered. Thank you. You just made my day.
Look at you! You are insane.
How did I do that?
You're
How did I do that?
insane. You're insane.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Joseph Jaffe is Not Famous, but my next guests are very famous. The famous Dr. Francine Hardaway, who could not have been too thrilled about seeing the mooch introducing the show. Maybe she was. And then Miss TenToesDown. We have a lot of people in the house tonight. Tabe Fillmore says Linwood. Yeah, Linwood. Linwood Cochran Jr. He says pull up a couple of shots or something like that. I got my shot of Cabernet. It's going to be a hell of a show, let me tell you. David Libby says he's ready for his cup of Joe. Well, now we know that a cup of Joe involves a little bit of more like a glass of Joe, a glass of cab. Masco J says, shout out to my big sister, Miss TenToesDown. I'm a proud little brother. She will make you very proud tonight. No doubt, no doubt. Manif just goes cough, cough. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's because he's waiting for his Jaffe coin. Maybe that's what. Maybe he just wants to point. Oh, that works out really nicely. Look at how the QR code just fits into the corner of my shelves. You just have to point, by the way, your iPhone at that QR code, and a bunch of things will happen. I'll give you more information in a moment, and you will earn yourself one entire Jaffe coin. That's $7.33 of goodness, of karmic goodness. How about that? Because we're going to be discussing karma today. Let's see who else is there. Powerful Peanut is in the house, and she says you're crazy. I know I'm crazy. Hello, Sammy. Yeah, just lots of stuff coming from the Powerful Peanut. I love it. Keep the engagement coming. Now today, everybody, it's National Coloring In Day. So happy National Coloring In Day as well. What does that mean to you? What does it mean to me, the whole idea of coloring? For me, part of coloring means connecting the dots. It means bringing something to life. But also what it means sometimes is this idea of coloring between the lines, reading between the lines. Maybe another thing as well is nuance. You know, my first company was called Crayon, and I called it Crayon because today Crayola has what they call their 96 color big box. And I felt like too often in life, in media, in advertising, we think about the primary colors of red, of blue, of yellow. They're important. They're the primary colors, but there's more to life than just red and blue and yellow. There are all these beautiful colors, maybe the colors we don't think about. That's what we celebrate on National Coloring Day. So enjoy it, everybody. Now, as I was saying earlier, if you want to earn yourself a Jaffe coin, All you got to do is point your phone at that QR code. There are a few little things that you're going to want to go through. One of them is to set up an account on rally.io. And it's kind of cool because Francine has got a coin, the Karma coin. And so you have two creator coins together in the same place. Will the world ever be the same? You can go to rally.io in general, and you can find out more about the wonderful creators that are out there, the expanding roster of creators and creator coins. But in this case, you don't have to do anything other than register, point your phone, and get yourself some free JAFFE. So hopefully I'll leave that QR code up for just a wee bit longer so you guys can take advantage. Another thing is on Friday, this Friday, we're going to have some previous guests on the show and creators, Jeff Pulver, hopefully Dave and or Carrie Kirpin, Maria Bailey, and a bunch of the creators from the last couple of weeks. We're going to do this every Friday at 12 noon. It's an opportunity not only for my guests to meet each other and my guests to meet the creators and the creators to meet the other creators, but for you guys to actually have access to ask questions, to hang out. It's like a town hall type of environment or feeling. And what's kind of cool about it is it's only open to JAFFE coin holders. But all you really need to do is just to hold one coin. And you can get that coin anyway for free. So it's not really a gate. And yet it is, because it's a club, because it's a community. So it's a gate that's really always open for you. But it is a gate nonetheless. And we'll start that this Friday at 12 noon. And you'll be able to see that Zoom address. I will share that on my socials, on my link tree. So we hope that you will join us. Now, next week, April Rinn, Chris Burgrave, and John, I'm embarrassed to say, how do I even pronounce his last name? Is it Coetzee? Is it Coetzee? Francine, you're going to have to help me. But John is another creator coin holder. He writes phenomenal articles on Forbes. And he has, what is it, Francine? I think it's called the Smart coin, the SMRT coin as well. So John will join us on Wednesday. There is no show tomorrow or Thursday because of the Jewish holiday of Yom Kippur. And next week, there is no show on Thursday because I'm going to go visit my son at college. But there will be plenty of content for you to enjoy. But enough about all the admin. Let's focus on Dr. Francine Hardaway. She is a serial entrepreneur. And she is, as I referred to, I mean, she's kind of like a mom to all of us, because it has nothing to do with, her smile or her wisdom. It just has to do with her love and her empathy and her warmth and her all-around goodness. So Francine will be with us, and then Miss TenToesDown. She's a creator. She's a poet. She's an author. And for God's sake, she's a student. I mean, if this is what students are like in today's times, we are all in good shape. The world is going to be okay because of Miss TenToesDown. And you will see her a little bit afterwards. And Jory Des Jardins, our crypto correspondent, will grace us with her first content segment on NFTs. Well, now it's time to get to our soliloquy. And of course, how could the soliloquy be about anything other than karma? You know the old saying, karma's a bitch. The derivation of the idiom comes from payback's a bitch. And in a nutshell, it basically says what goes around comes around. For some reason, the saying is associated with something negative, and maybe that's because bad news travels at 6.7 times the speed of good news. Fact. Just kidding, I have absolutely no idea. It's simply not true. But then again, the saying isn't karma's a boon now, is it? Or is it? The corollary to payback's a bitch is the notion of pay it forward. Pay. So maybe this is balanced after all. But here's another thought. What if it isn't? What if it isn't a bitch or a boon? What if what goes around doesn't come around? What if good things happen to bad people and bad things happen to good people? What if the ROK, return on karma, can't be measured, quantified, or even monetized. Is that the end of the karma road as we know it? Sorry, Francine. Well, I guess I could get biblical on your ass and talk about the next life or the world to come. Or I could get meta, philosophical, or cosmic and mention butterflies and their effect. Yes, it's true that we might not fully or even ever appreciate and understand the full power of karma in this lifetime. Had we left the house 5 seconds earlier or 5 seconds later, what might have transpired? Would we have been part of that 10-car pileup on the highway? Might we have been the cause? And would we have been able to make that connection between beginner's luck, bad luck, dumb luck, or good luck as an act of God or an act of karma? I'd like to believe things happen for a reason, and I'm prepared to concede that I may never know that reason. Instead, what I can do is control the controllables. And it begins by staring at this handsome, beast, brute in the mirror every morning. You see how I stuttered over the word handsome? Every morning, and loving what I see. Or at a minimum, just tolerating him, kind of like my wife does. They say that every journey begins with a single step. Similarly, every karmic quest begins with one good deed, one smile, one act of benevolence, one demonstration of empathy, one anonymous expression of kindness. I can't tell you how or where it ends. I can't provide you the path to get there, but I can tell you how and where it begins, right here and right now. And now and here, it's time for Dr. Francine Hardaway. And let me tell you just a little bit about her. Francine Hardaway, PhD, doctor is in the house, is a serial entrepreneur and seasoned communication strategist. She co-founded Stealth Mode Partners, an accelerator and advocate for entrepreneurs in technology and health and healthcare in 1998. Prior to Stealth Mode, she owned 2 marketing companies and served as director of worldwide press relations for a company that you might heard of before, Intel, and the CMO, the Chief Marketing Officer of Innovative Environmental Products. Francine was an entrepreneurial fellow of the Ella Entrepreneurship Center at the University of Arizona and was a founder of Social Media Club Arizona and the Arizona Software Association. She is co-founder of the blog US Health Crisis and blogs for Fast Company, Huffington Post, and the Stealth Mode blog. And that is all before 9 a.m. in the morning. Let's say hello to her. Francine, welcome to the show.
Here I am. And
Yeah.
all of that took place over a very long period of time.
And before 9 a.m. in the morning, what do you do between 9 and 11 in the morning?
Between 9 and 11, I exercise.
There you go. On the Peloton or?
No, because I'm Poe. So I exercise on the Peloton app.
On the Peloton app. Well, and by the way, it is a great app, let me tell you.
It's a fantastic app. And I do, I have my weights here right by my desk. There you are.
Oh, nice. So you can drink wine. By the way, cheers, because you have your wine and I have mine.
Cheers.
Cheers to you. And you can drink wine with one hand and you can double fist with weights in the other hand.
Yes, exactly.
I wouldn't advise it, but why not?
Could I ask you a question? I think that I know you now that you said that your first company was Crayon. I think I know you back from the Crayon days when I was really active in marketing. I think
I remember it well.
We have a mutual friend who worked for you, but I can't remember who that is because, of course, it was like 25 years ago.
Well, Scott Monty worked.
That's
for me.
who it is.
Yes, Scott's. By the way, his title was consigliere. I loved it. I was the chief interrupter, and he was my consigliere. And personally, it gave me so much pride when he left Crayon to go work at Ford. And I thought to myself, like, wow, you know, in terms of being that bridge or that conduit or that stepping stone, I mean, that was the ultimate feather in my cap.
And that's so cool about owning marketing companies, because you are always, you know, training people who then go on to do bigger and better things than, you know, than maybe you could or you did. But it's a tremendous feeling. And that's the karma. That is the total karma.
Well, I think also, and we're going to talk about karma, but first of all, when you talk about bigger and better things, people want to know some fun facts about you that they might not know. And I imagine you're an open book, but I wonder how many people know the fact that, Francine, you've been married 5 times.
That is correct. I've been married 5 times. I've been divorced 4. I've never taken a dime from any husband, and I've never had an attorney in any divorce. And all my husbands, former husbands, were and are friends of mine. And I think that is, like, as I look back now, that is probably one of my biggest life accomplishments. Because,
so, I mean, it could be said, by the way, talking about going on to bigger and better things. I mean, you know, husband number 5.
Husband number 5 died. He was wonderful.
Oh, and he passed away. I'm sorry.
Yes, and he was the best husband, but he passed away. And after him, let's see, I asked someone from Clubhouse if they would marry me, but they said no.
And wait, Ed said no?
No, not Ed. Ed's my business partner.
Well, because I know you're both in Zona, so.
Yes, Ed and I have been business partners in Stealth Mode Partners since 1999.
He's just wonderful. What a warm. I mean, both you and Ed are. Maybe you should get together, because you're both pretty warm people. As is Arizona.
Well, truthfully, he's 25 years younger than me. So,
even more so.
Well, I already was married to somebody 20 years younger than me. And so I've done that. I've done the older people.
All right, but enough about your dilling and dalling. There are the dogs right now, which is another fun fact about you. On cue, by the way. How perfect was that? You sleep in a California king bed in Arizona with 3 dogs. That is neither your bed nor your dogs, but that definitely is you in the photo.
That's right, because you have to, because my dogs are much weirder. I have a 15-pound Shih Tzu poodle. That's who you just heard speak.
Gesundheit? Gesundheit?
Yeah, that's Dog the Bruce. And then I have a medium-sized dog that's 5. We call them 5-part puppy, because he's 5 different types of dog. And then I have a white golden retriever who is, you know, a service dog, my service dog. And the service that she performs is to sleep next to me in the bed.
Well, that is amazing. The thing is, you are always surrounded by love and by warmth and by companions.
I really am, and it all just came back into my office right now. It was outside barking. The entire tribe was outside barking, and it just came back into the room.
Well, it's okay. You know, as I said, life is messy, life is real, and life involves barking and babies crying. And, you know, companies still struggle with that. I always say that, you know, all these corporations, they say it's okay. They say that, you know, they talk
They're
about
crushing it, and then they commit suicide. And, you know, I've coached 1,400 companies. I know exactly what goes on in a company, plus my own, you know, that sent me to the emergency room many times, but with all kinds of, you know, panic attacks. But you don't know whether your company is a success until there's an exit, and then suddenly you wake up and you're working for Intel because they bought you, and you're like, where am I?
Well, that's interesting. I want to just follow up on that for a second. You said you you don't realize that your company's a success until the exit. But not that I'm going to, maybe.
Okay, I never did. Maybe some people.
Okay.
Mark
back strongly.
Mark Zuckerberg probably does, but I didn't.
I wonder if that's actually even true, by the way, with Mark Zuckerberg. I mean, I don't know that there's ever going to be an exit per se.
Right.
But I look back on that hot mess that is Facebook, and I wonder how much success there is, or at what cost, at what price.
Well, when I met him, he was like 19 or 20, and he had started Facebook, and it was just I met him in an investor meeting. So he had started Facebook, and it was just coming out of the place where it was only for college students. And I said to him, and I was laughing, hey, Mark, I want to be on Facebook because I think I could be the oldest person there. And he said, oh, you can. I just opened it up to, ordinary people. So I signed up and went on it. And I've been on that entire journey. And the sad thing is that he started out with incredible ideals. His ideal wasn't to get a date. Maybe that was the beginning vision. But you know how when you raise money, you always have to have a small vision and then a bigger vision. So his bigger vision very quickly was to connect the world. And, he actually achieved it. He connected the world. And to what end? That's really a problem.
Now we should just disconnect. He disconnected.
It's the law of unintended consequences. Bruce,
I have a follow-up question for Bruce.
Dog the Bruce.
But you said it would happen as well. There is an interesting thing that happens when I think about this idea of small vision, right, and big vision, and I think about along the way. To me, is this the essence of built to suck? Is this the essence of always starting out pure, as we all do, and then somehow we lose it along the way? Is it because of money? Is that what money does, Francine? You got to have a point of view on that, because in fact, you do have a point of view. In fact, you wrote an article on your Substack called "Money and Me: A Rocky Relationship."
I think money's really a matter of feelings. I mean, money comes and goes, and I've had it and not had it. And when I have it, I spend it or share it or do something with it. I mean, I'm certainly not going to end up with a lot of it because it really isn't important to me. People are important to me. So, but I think you have to think of yourself as rich. It's like when you look in the mirror every morning and you say, I like that guy. I look in the mirror and I say, hey, that's not a bad face for her age. And that's the first thing that I say. That doesn't look too bad. And then the second thing that I say is everything that I need comes to me. And so I'm rich no matter what.
I want to add something, Francine. It's funny. I've had a couple of conversations with people in the last even week or so. And these are people that had money, that had success, but lost it for whatever reason. And it's funny how they almost talk about it apologetically. They almost talk about it like, do you know who I once was? Do you know how much money I had? Do you know how close I was? Do you know who I knew? Do you know who I met? And I feel like saying, I don't care about who you were.
See, that's some major, right. That's some massive form of insecurity. And the whole idea is at the end of the day, it's the end of the day.
Yeah.
And no matter how much money you have, it's not going to make any difference. But if somebody remembers you, if like people remember me because I wrote a bunch of posts on Substack, or because I helped them in their business, or because I was a foster mom and I helped them get an opportunity that they might not have had, which, by the way, was something else that I did that pretty much nobody knows. But that's really what happened at the end of the day. What endures, if anything endures.
I love these wordplay. What endures, if anything endures, but it's almost like a Yogi Berrism, or I'm going to call it now a Hardawayism, which is at the end of the day, it's the end of the day.
It totally is. Unless you're reading Thich Nhat Hanh, who's, says there is no death and there is no birth. If the circumstances are right, the flower manifests. So I feel like I'm a flower, and the money manifests. And
well, I don't want to earn any money. I want to give money away. So just to tell people, if you are joining us mid-program, you can get a JAFFE coin. And you know what? If you redeem a JAFFE coin today, I'm going to throw in a karma coin as well. So I will send you both a JAFFE coin and a karma coin. And all you have to do is look at that QR code, which there it is. And it's only live between 9. How cool is that, Francine?
That's awesome.
It's only live when the show is live. It doesn't.
That is awesome. I've been giving away my coins also because I hate to make people buy them if it's karma. I want people to really understand that what you give out is what you get back. And that if you put out love, you will get back love. You will. And that's how I want to teach people that, or help people become comfortable with that, or help people, and that's why I have the karma coin.
So I'm going to ask you a heavier question, not so heavy, but like a heavy-ish, a corporate-y question. But before I do that, I have a few things. First of all, Susie Weitzman says, "Love Francine." Brito says 2 of my faves. So my response to that is he's counting you twice. Manif says, "Think in abundance, the universe delivers."
Right, Manif, right.
And David Libby says, "Carpe diem."
Right. I mean, all of that is true.
So are
these comments really coming off of YouTube?
Yeah, they are based on, what did you see? No, well, Brito is watching on LinkedIn.
Oh, okay.
Susie's on Facebook. Manif and David.
Oh, they're coming from all over the place. That is so interesting.
Sometimes I even get Twitch.
Because
there goes that Twitch
YouTube
again.
comments are usually, not as nice.
Well, that's because you're not Dr. Robin DeAngelo, but seems to be quite polarizing, that lady, for some reason. Now, here is the quote that I found for you, and then I'm going to go back to my corporate-y question, because only you can answer it. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you are my only hope. Here is the quote that I found for you. "How people treat you is their karma. How you react is yours."
Yes, that's totally true.
That is Wayne Dyer, and I want to know what
I've always loved him.
I want to know, and he loves you apparently. I want to know, how do you interpret that quote?
How do I what?
How do you interpret that quote?
I interpret that quote is everybody gives out something that went into them before they can give it out. And so how people treat me is the way that's determined is by what happened to them, But how I react is how my karma is, or how I want my karma to be. And, you have to It is all about love. It really, it is all about love.
You know what I was thinking? But by the way, I'm missing my Morkie. Having a look at yours. What kind of a dog is that?
It's a sort of a Shih Tzu poodle.
Oh, that's the Gesundheit dog.
Yeah, it's kind of a rescue. You know, it's like I found him in a park across from some apartments where, you know, it was the first of the month and some people must have gotten evicted and they left their dog behind.
Oh, you see, I mean, Francine, you're just...
And I got this dog and it was wonderful. I mean, it still is wonderful.
And look at this comment. It's a good start to a day to listen to such a pleasant conversation. So that could be someone in Australia right now.
All I want to say is it would be better if there were more of these kinds of conversations. You know,
well, here's the good news. I do this every night, Monday through Thursday.
That is amazing. I'm just so amazed that you put in all this work and do this every night. I'm so impressed.
You know what? Thank you, but it's you know, I was describing it to someone today, and I just said, this is just all pure joy for me. I mean, how can it not be joy hanging out with you? Now, I want to just add one comment to that idea of, you know, when you give it, it's your karma. When you receive it, when you give it, it's yours, right? When you receive it, it is now kind of like transferred. To me, I think about it almost as this idea of, if you're in Starbucks and somebody decides to buy you a coffee, right? Now you have the choice what to do with that. Obviously, if you choose now to receive that kindness and then transfer it and keep that momentum going and keep the chain going, that's how I interpret this idea. How you react is
right. Of course. Of course. I mean, your karma was to invite me on this show. And because I'm me, I was like, well, of course I have to do this. You know, I mean, I want to do something for Joseph. I want to be.
Your karma is that you accepted the invitation. You know, when I put it out there, I reached out to all my fellow creators and I said, who wants to come on the show? And the reality was, I wasn't actually doing it for me. I wasn't doing it like I need guests. I was saying, we're part of a community, and I want to extend this invitation to you. And you were maybe the first person to say yes.
Because another mentor of mine once said to me, in order to have a good life, just say yes. And then you'll figure it out later. Because mostly when you say yes, you learn something, you have an experience, you know, it's like when Rally started giving out those creator coins. I had no idea what I wanted to do, but I just said, yes, give me a coin. You know, put me on the list of early adopters for coins. And I asked for the karma coin. And I've been figuring it out ever since, but I just said yes.
You know, I mean, it's such an amazing point. Just say yes and then figure it out.
All kinds of opportunities come. If you say no, nothing comes. But if you say yes,
so true.
You never know what can come.
It's so true. And the other thing is that the longer we take to say yes, the longer we take to think about something, of course, the more likely we are to say no. And so it's not just say yes, it's say yes quickly. Don't let the brain talk you out of an act of kindness.
Exactly.
When you are presented with karma, say thank you, rather than try and dissect it or psychoanalyze it or overthink it, right?
And here's the thing, how I got to know you, I mean, I guess I knew you years ago, but I didn't know that I knew you. So I actually got to know you through Clubhouse and the creator coins. And now I found out that you are like a man after my own heart. You're like me. You think like I do, and You are what I would consider a good person.
Oh, thank you.
And
Wow.
I would have never met you if I had not said yes, and I would never have known that you were with Crayon if I hadn't come on. You know, I mean, there's like one thing leads to another thing, leads to another thing, and every step is a step along a path. And I don't think I'm going to ever be enlightened, but I know that I became very happy during the pandemic when everyone else was going crazy. And it was because I found online communities in a very big way. And I became a participant in online in Clubhouse first, and then Rally. And these are amazing communities.
I mean, I had David Spinks on the show yesterday. I mean, it feels like everything blurs, and the whole conversation was about the power of community. And there were some amazing quotes that just warmed my heart. So, Francine, I said that I was going to talk to you about. Manif says, "No compliments, please. The guy's just coming out of a heart surgery."
You mean don't raise his heartbeat?
No, this is calming me. This is beautiful. But here's the question that I wanted to ask you earlier. And you know, the quote,
are these fashionable? Are these a good part of my brand? I'm looking at myself in the screen and I'm going, what are those white things sticking out of her ears?
So what I've got these little transparent earpieces, which I love, although for some reason I can see the wires. Normally they're plugged into my mixing board, which is
broken,
which is being nursed right now. But I love this. I actually love these little earpieces, and they kind of bend around, even these little flappers.
And they don't look like these Apple things. These Apple.
I started with those. I started with those AirPods, and then they did seem a little bit kind of protrusive. Is that the word?
Dorky.
Dorky. There you go. By the way, Lolita. I'm going to try Oja Fatimi. I hope I got that right. She said, "Shout out to my firstborn, nothing but love here." See, we're now just shouting out to everyone around us.
We've now created an atmosphere into which people can express love and positivity.
I know, I love it. And
that kicks ass.
I love it. Now, here's the question that I wanted to ask you, which is, you said if you put out love, it will come back to you. And I was thinking to myself, how do you operationalize it? How do you institutionalize it? How do you scale it? If you're a company watching this and you're like, I understand what she's saying as a human, as an individual, but how do I do this for this big, mighty, monolithic corporation or brand?
Well, right now it's by understanding that every one of your employees is a person. I mean, a company is just an agglomeration of people. I mean, it's that Citizens United says a corporation is a person, but really a corporation is composed of people. And you have to understand that every one of your people is going through something. So when you open your mouth to talk to them, you have to assume that in some way they're trying to hold it together because of something that you can never know. So you have to not contribute to the problem. You have to make the problem go away, even if you don't know that you're making the problem go away. You come at everybody trying to make them feel better, not worse. I guess that's the bottom line of it,
And inherently, we all talk about how do you humanize a brand or humanize a company. Well, the answer is you don't humanize the company but the humans inside the company are exactly the humanization that you're looking for. So look beyond the shell, and look at what's underneath or inside the shell.
Right. I mean, every company is made up of people. And right now, a lot of companies are made up of very unhappy people. They're people who have been through a year and a half of pandemic. They may not have childcare. They want to change jobs. There's like all sorts of stuff happening. And so when you have a conversation with people, very often they attempt to react in an angry way when they don't mean that. Anger is a secondary emotion. It comes out of fear or hurt. So you have to feel like everyone is afraid and or hurting right now. And you can diffuse all of those feelings if you give out love. And this is what I do in the Karma Club. It's exactly what I do. And I take on the most ridiculous topics, racism, diversity, all of them. But I don't let people get into arguments or polarize, because I have a way of welcoming everybody and making everybody feel like they're part of a solution just by showing up, which indeed they are, because it's, I think it was Woody Allen who said 95% of life is just showing up.
Oh, I love that. Just by showing up, you're part of the solution.
Well, if somebody shows up to your room on Clubhouse, let's say, or in your Twitter feed, or in your Facebook feed, or on this, on this program, that's a gift they're giving you.
Yeah, and instead of worrying about all the numbers and the 1,000 people in the room, focus. I always do this. Focus on who's on the stage. Focus who's above the fold. Focus on the quality versus the quantity. Now, by the way, yesterday, IPC was the creator. I Paint Creatures, inspired by people like Maurice, Sendak.
Yeah.
It was so amazing. And he said this, which I just loved. I wanted to share with you. He said, monsters are just creatures who got hurt. And so when you spoke about hurt, and pain, and fear.
That is a profound truth.
Isn't it?
That is a profound truth. Nobody wakes up in the morning saying, I'm going to be evil. They really don't.
Right. And Lucas, Evelyn Starr says, so agree. Someone showing up for you is a gift. And by the way, how funny is this, Francine? Because we are now going to bring up our mutual friend, Jory Des Jardins. We didn't even talk about the future of democracy in the US. We didn't even talk about why we don't get race relations right.
We can talk about that.
We're not even going to talk about global health in an era of politicization, because we didn't need to, because it was just you and me hanging out, having a good time. But I want to tell people that are watching right now, please go and subscribe to Francine's Substack, francine.substack.com. Join the Karma Club. Buy some Karma Coin, send and share and gift Karma Coin to one another. Consult with Francine. If you have a dream, she will help you achieve that dream. Connect with her on LinkedIn. Join her in the club, in her wonderful club, in the clubhouse.
That's when we discuss those issues that you made me write down in my, in my show notes. Those are the things that really concern me. And so I have discussions about them. They're very serious issues. And I manage to have pleasant discussions with awesome people who show up and teach me something every week. And
but guess
again,
what?
that's a gift.
And guess who just showed up? Jory Des Jardins.
Hi friends, it's Jory Des Jardins, your crypto correspondent. And this week we are talking about NFTs, or non-fungible tokens. To understand what a non-fungible token is, it helps to know what a fungible token is, or what fungible means. So a fungible token is a digital asset that trades 1-to-1. So think about a Bitcoin. One Bitcoin can trade for another Bitcoin. A non-fungible token is completely unique. So think about a piece of rare art. Think about the Beeple that recently sold. Beeple is an artist who sold a digital piece of art recently for $66,000 as an NFT, and it later resold for $6.6 million. Think about Jack Dorsey's tweet, his first one on Twitter, which recently sold for millions as well. They tend to be digital assets, and there are businesses that are cropping up that help to market, buy, sell, trade NFTs. The question is, what am I really getting for an NFT? Am I actually going to spend $6.6 million for a glorified URL? Well, all of that irrational exuberance aside, I'm actually really excited about NFTs. I've been exploring the space because I think of NFTs as the next frontier for monetizing your time, your attention, your IP, all those things that we got excited about monetizing as creators years ago. This is how we can actually open up a whole new asset class. So I've been exploring this with another company whose advisory board I recently joined. And we see all kinds of things that could be minted, which is what you call it when you create an NFT and put it on the blockchain. Everything from book readings to poetry. And down the line, more creators and consumers will have access to these NFTs. Ultimately, I think what's going to make NFTs more successful in the future is by, one, being easier to mint and easier to buy on. Right now, you have to know quite a bit about blockchain, and you have to know about crypto wallets and the different selections, options that you have before you can even go ahead and buy or mint an NFT. That will change. It will become more operable and more user ready. But expect to see a lot more and more options for those who are trying to monetize their work online.
And that was Jory Des Jardins. And now Francine, I'm letting her go and pet her dogs, but she will be back to hang out with Miss TenToesDown, who is our creator performer tonight. Erin Johnson, aka Miss TenToesDown, is a Southern belle from Arkansas by way of Alabama, where she is an HBCU senior at Alabama A&M University and a member of Phi Sigma Pi Honors Fraternity, Inc. And she is a student and a self-published author, and she's an author of a book, This Prodigal Heart of Mine, and she's a poet. What can she not do? Welcome to the show, Miss TenToesDown. I tell you what she can't do. There's nothing she can't do. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for the welcome. I feel welcome. It's positive energy, and I'm here for it.
You better believe it. Well, all I have to do is that and disappear and let you do your thing. Tonight, you are going to be performing Untitled Nerd. That feels like the story of my life. So we're going to let you take it away, and then I will be back afterwards, as will Francine, and I will flash up different ways that people can connect with you, contact you, tip you, and show you some love, give you your flowers. Take it away.
Alrighty. Once again, my name is Miss TenToesDown, and this is Untitled Nerd. Nothing gets past you, opening screen. Like you, my PlayStation 2, hopefully your screen doesn't turn red. Maybe I need a new flame. Or is that case a new disc or a disc cleaning because you just simply too dusty, or you just not working for me? Just like my poison, maybe a Harley Quinn or a Joker type. We not good for each other, but we fit. Or maybe we just don't work for each other. And like Superman and the Kryptonite, man, sheesh. This love stuff is confusing for me. And life is too. But I don't think nobody's heart broke faster than mine when Iron Man died. Talk about an endgame. Mario couldn't dodge those barrels. Not even a red shell could avoid that ending. But in the sense, the love that you thought you was giving me was so vague, like the identity of Bruce Wayne or Batman, if you were Robin, and it's crazy. You hid your love like you was the Riddler. But I'm going to send you to jail like a game of Monopoly and hit you with a draw 4 and then a draw 2, and then I skip and I uno out, so you will know that I'm not the one to play with. So get over it. I'm over you. And trust me, being over you is like a breath of much needed fresh air. Only instead of being Thanos and being sad about me snapping, trust me, if I was wearing the Infinity Gauntlet and I snapped, I would remove you from my memory, make you into the unknown on some, I can hear you, but I won't, on my frozen shit. Make you regret the terrible things that you did and said to this poet. And trust me, you should have chosen another heart to break, because this poet is going to stab you in the chest with these stanzas, and like you did to me with your words, blinding like Raven with her identity. Untitled Bird. Thank you.
I wish I had my sound effects. You would get the air horn. You would get the applause.
Oh, what an impressive lady you are. I can't, it's like, you are amazing. Because you are performing first of all, you have defined yourself as a poet. That is difficult right there. Then you have come on here and you're reading your poetry in public. It's not that easy to do what you're doing. I don't know how to give you enough flowers, because you deserve, I don't know, more flowers than I have. But you're terrific.
Thank you,
Erin. I'm so happy to have met you. You are what an addition to my life.
Thank you so much. Likewise. I've been writing pretty much all my life, outside of like the sports side of my life. Like actual poetry has been about 4 years. Me just writing actual poetry. So yeah.
It's so impressive. You have so much courage as an artist.
And I'm there just thinking, like, is she going to mention Thanos, Shrek? I'm like, was there a Loki mention? Could I, I'm watching Loki at the moment on Disney.
There was not a Loki moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
We don't need Loki. He's too mischievous.
Yeah, I was going to say he's very mischievous.
He causes to now. Let's just see. Masco says, "I'm so proud of my sis," and wait.
And you should be, Masco. You should be.
Wait now. Lolita's snapping, but hang on a second. And she is my daughter.
That is my mother.
Wow. I mean, Lolita, you must be so proud right now, because I'm proud. And
I think it's amazing. It's fantastic. So can I ask you a question? Are you studying poetry in school?
I am not. I am studying, it's a mouthful, but I'm going to say it rather quickly. It's nutrition, it's family consumer sciences. That's my major, under the umbrella of nutrition and hospitality management, with a concentration in general dietetics.
Oh, wow.
With a minor in poetry.
This is your hobby.
No minor. This is my hobby. This is, it's what I say, a lot of times, people, they don't like to acknowledge their pain or their truth. So my thing is my pain is my transparency. So the things that I write, I throw a little wordplay, a little cartoon character or something, just to make you smile, make you laugh, make it relatable. But everything that is written down that comes from Miss TenToesDown is from her life. And she's not afraid of, showing that, so that my life can be that example of how you can avoid my barrels, you know.
Once again, my word for you is courage. You have.
By the way, I mean, there was a little bit of poetry, just dropped a little bit of poetry there. My pain is my transparency. What else did we get? We got Evelyn. I got to go all the way up. People are going crazy for you. I don't even know where Evelyn quoted you, and I can't even find it. There's been so many. Here it is. Stab you in the chest with these stanzas. Never think poetry isn't powerful. What a beautiful point that Evelyn made there as well. And I'm just looking at other stuff. And Evelyn adds, and this is amazing, right? This is some good advice. Writing regularly makes you a writer, not classes.
Truth. That is the truth.
Yeah,
So-
there's absolutely truth to that. And like she said, like your words, they do have a lot of power. And our mantra for Alabama A&M Society of Lyrically Advanced Poets, shout out to y'all. We say, I have a voice. It is powerful. I am powerful. And that's what we say like 3 times to end our meetings. We say that at the end of our events that we have on campus. Hopefully we get to have some physical ones this year, but you know, and I'm actually wearing one of our shirts right now, just to like we tell ourselves, don't give us no disclaimers on your pieces, don't sugarcoat nothing, speak your truth and get up there and do you, and don't worry about what those eyes out there have to say to you, because at the end of the day, if it was for them, they will give you your flowers. If it was meant for them, they would feel that, they would tell you they loved that piece, they loved what you said, they loved how you worded it. But if it wasn't for them, those are going to be your silent people in the crowd who are not doing anything, and it's not for them. Worry about the people that it's for.
Listen to Evelyn. Evelyn's comments are amazing.
You are powerful and your words inspire. And Queenie says she is also a lead character in the concert, a scenario and audio movie book coming soon. I mean, as I said, is there anything she's going to do? By the way, Queenie says Queenie's new fave.
I love Queenie. Without Queenie, this wouldn't be possible. I wouldn't have got to know you all. And I tell her all the time, like, I thank her every step of the way, because she is opening these doors for me that I never thought could come from Clubhouse. Here I go, just doing something for another poet friend out of Birmingham, Alabama, and here I am, doing things like this. I never thought it would be possible.
She's amazing. And Evelyn adds, speaking your truth is not only empowering, it is also healing.
I'll say.
One of the things that Francine said earlier, which really struck me, is that corporations are just filled with a bunch of unhappy people. Yes. And, and maybe they were unhappy before because...
Well, and I don't think it's the... I can't find the camera. I'm going to keep moving in and out of the frame.
There it is.
Because I keep shifting in my chair. But here's... Oh, that made it easier, didn't it? Here's the thing. They're not unhappy because they're necessarily at that corporation. They're unhappy because shit happens, and in the last few years, more shit has happened than usual. And so people are like up to here in shit. And so if you come to them and you're not understanding of that, they just don't have any room for anymore, or they'll drown.
Most definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, I want to, Erin, I have to call you by your name. Normally I call the creators by their creator name. But today was all about keeping it real. It was all about humanity. It was all about love. It was all about family. Your family is here. I hope they are. In fact, I don't hope. I know that they're proud of you. I have 2 kids that are at college. And so it connects to me even more than you would ever know, just to think about how you are actualizing yourself. And I'm going to text both of them and say, watch this show and watch this amazing young woman and what she's doing, and she's just going to be an incredible success in life. And you have your, your mother you have your mother watching, you have your grandmother Francine, you got a dog, you've got me, you got Queenie, you've got royalty, you got a lot of people in your corner, and most of all, remember that you have Chuck Norris in your corner.
You are Chuck Norris approved.
There you go. I want to thank you. I want to thank you, Francine. I will be back next week, 3 shows. Tonight was just a treat. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
I had a blast. Thank you, Joseph.
You're welcome.
Thank you for watching the show about hope, positivity, optimism, and if there's time left over, a little bit of marketing with your host, multiple author, and global keynote speaker, Joseph Jaffe. If you like the show, tell a friend or two. Please subscribe to the show, and if you want to get inside news, previews of upcoming guests, and much more, visit josephjaffe.com/subscribe to sign up for the show's newsletter.
And despite the best ministrations of your wife, you still look ugly.